Breaking news! The Buffalo Bills behind the scenes is hot. Hey Bills Mafia! Before you continue, hit that like button if you believe the Buffalo Bills have what it takes to make it to the next Super Bowl. Seriously, I'm so excited for this season. And if you're a believer too, comment below. Go Bills! I believe. Now that's for sure. The Buffalo Bills behind the scenes is on fire. With so many roster changes, explosive signings, and a few controversies, the 2025 season is looking more exciting than ever. But are we facing the year of redemption? Has our time finally come? The big questions for 2025. Josh Allen's revenge season. Will he silence the critics and take this season to the top? Who will be the WR3? The competition is heating up. Defense with losses. Who will hold the fort in the first games? The road to the Super Bowl will not be easy, but I guarantee one thing. This season promises to be very exciting. So subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because I will bring you all the updates so you don't miss anything about the Bills. Now tell me, do you believe this will be the title season? Comment. Go Biltas! I believe it! The Buffalo Bills are gearing up for a massive 2025 season, and if you haven't been paying attention, you might not even recognize this roster anymore. We're talking about a complete overhaul in some areas, key re-signings, blockbuster free agent signings, and even a few surprises that have left fans scratching their heads. But one thing is clear, this team is all in on making another deep playoff run and finally bringing that long-awaited Lombardi Trophy home to Buffalo. 17 transactions. That's right, 17. GM Brandon Beane has been relentless this offseason, locking down young talent, making big money moves, and taking some calculated risks to push this team over the top. We've seen franchise cornerstones like Terrell Bernard and Greg Rousseau get their well-earned extensions, while a record-setting contract for Josh Allen has ensured that the Bills will remain competitive for years to come. And let's not forget the blockbuster acquisition of Joey Bosa, a move that sent shockwaves through the league. But will all of this be enough? Let's start with the most important position in football, quarterback. No surprises here. Josh Allen is the guy, and he's now officially the highest-paid player in franchise history. And let's be honest, if you've got Josh Allen, you've got a chance. There's really only one other quarterback in the NFL who can even be mentioned in the same breath, and that's Patrick Mahomes. But if you strip everything away, the coaching, the supporting cast, who would you rather have leading your team? That's right. Give me number 17 every single time. He's the heartbeat of this franchise, and as long as he's under center, the Bills will be in the mix for a Super Bowl. Behind him, Buffalo has done some work adding depth. Mitch Trubisky is back as the primary backup, and they've also brought in Shane Buechele and Mike White to round out the QB room. But let's be real. If Josh Allen goes down, the entire outlook for the season changes dramatically. Now let's talk about the run game, because this group might be one of the most underrated units in the entire league. James Cook is coming off yet another 1,000-yard season and is poised for a massive payday. The Bills love his ability to break off game-changing runs, but will they be willing to pay him the $15 million a year he's reportedly seeking? That remains to be seen. Ty Johnson is back on a 2-year deal, and Buffalo has also added Ray Davis and Deonta Foreman, giving them a nice mix of speed, power, and versatility. But make no mistake, this backfield will only go as far as James Cook takes them. At wide receiver, things are starting to look very different. Khalil Shakir has been locked up as a key piece of the offense, and Josh Palmer has been brought in to provide another weapon for Allen. But all eyes are on Keon Coleman. The former second-round pick flashed potential as a rookie, but is now being asked to step up and become the team's true WR1. Can he do it? The Bills seem to think so, but with the departure of Amari Cooper, the pressure is on. A 1,000-yard season is within reach, but it won't come easy. And don't be surprised if Buffalo isn't done adding to this group just yet. Rumors are swirling that they could be looking to move up in the draft to land another top-tier wide receiver. Names like Tetairoa McMillan, Luther Burden, and Emeka Egbuka have been floated as potential targets, but it all depends on how the board falls on draft night. Shifting to tight end, it's officially put up or shut up time for Dalton Kincaid. The former first-round pick has yet to live up to expectations, and after a lackluster season, it's fair to question whether he'll ever become the elite pass-catching tight end Buffalo envisioned. Dawson Knox remains the starter for now, but Kincaid's future in Buffalo will likely be determined by what he does in 2025. Another mediocre season, and the Bills could be looking for his replacement sooner rather than later. Now let's talk about the offensive line, because this unit is quietly one of the best in the league. Left tackle Dion Dawkins and right tackle Spencer Brown form one of the top tackle duos in football, and the interior is rock solid with David Edwards, Connor McGovern, and Osiris Torrance. Depth is always a concern, but this group is built to protect Allen and open up running lanes for Cook. If they stay healthy, this could be a top 5 offensive line in the NFL. On the defensive side, the Bills have made some big-time moves. The addition of Joey Bosa on a 1-year, $12 million deal could be a game-changer, if he can stay on the field. Injuries have plagued him in recent years, but when he's healthy, he's one of the most dominant pass rushers in the league. Pairing him with Rousseau, Ed Oliver, and Daquan Jones gives Buffalo one of the scariest defensive fronts in football. However, not all the news is good. Both Michael Hocht and Larry Ogunjobi, 2 key free agent signings, are facing 6-game suspensions. That's a major blow to the depth of this defensive line, and it puts even more pressure on the starters to carry the load early in the season. At linebacker, Matt Milano's future is suddenly in question. Once considered a cornerstone of this defense, injuries have kept him off the field, and with only 1 year of guaranteed money left on his deal, could Buffalo look to move on? It's possible. Terrell Bernard is locked in as the leader of this group, and young players like Dorian Williams and Balon Spector are waiting in the wings. If Milano can't stay healthy, the Bills may decide it's time to cut ties and recoup some draft capital. The secondary, meanwhile, has some major question marks. Christian Benford has developed into a solid player and is due for an extension, but the cornerback room as a whole is a bit shaky. Tre'Davious White is gone, and while Taron Johnson remains a reliable nickel corner, the Bills lack a true shutdown presence on the outside. This is another area they could look to address in the draft. At safety, Damar Hamlin is back on a 1-year deal. But is he really the answer? The Bills drafted Cole Bishop to be the future at strong safety, but the depth at this position isn't exactly inspiring. Expect Buffalo to keep an eye on potential upgrades throughout the offseason, so now it's time for you to weigh in. How do you feel about the Bills' offseason moves so far? Do you think Keon Coleman is ready to step up as WR1? Will Joey Bosa stay healthy and make a major impact? And what should Buffalo do with Matt Milano? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth Bills content. We're just getting started, and it's going to be a wild ride this season. Go Bills! The Buffalo Bills depth chart is taking shape, and while the roster looks competitive, there are still key areas that need to be addressed before the season kicks off. Let's shift our focus to special teams and coaching decisions that could impact the team's performance in 2025. Kicking things off with special teams, Tyler Bass remains locked in as the Bills' starting kicker. He's been a reliable weapon for Buffalo, but after an inconsistent stretch in late 2024, questions linger about his ability to stay sharp in clutch moments. The Bills need him to return to his peak form, especially in tight games where field position and points are at a premium. Sam Martin remains the punter, offering a steady veteran presence, while Reed Ferguson continues as the team's long snapper, one of the most overlooked but critical positions in football. One of the biggest special teams concerns? The return game. The Bills have experimented with